Okay, we're live. So I just decided I was going to look up the chart of this event of the Travis Scott's performance. I was like searching and I couldn't find any for myself. So I figured let me just, I couldn't find any breakdowns anywhere else. So I figured I have an astrological oracle deck and I have my knowledge of astrology. So I'm going to pull up the chart. I'm going to share my screen. I should have set this up before I started, but I will. Once I go live more, I'll figure out what I'm doing. Okay, I have to find my window. It always says this, like it never wants to recognize my entire screen. I mean, the right window. Never fails, I have to do it twice. Okay. That's a stream, boom. All right, so let me pull up this chart. And I haven't really looked at it. I just pulled it up. I played around with the time because a flyer said that, let me see if I can find that flyer. Yes. So it said that he was supposed to start at 8:45. And then they said he started 30 minutes late or something. Let me see if it says it on here. 45 minutes late. So he's supposed to start at 8:45. So he ended up starting at 9:30. So this article says his set started at 9:38. I'm sorry, 9:39, I think. And I changed it to 9:38. Okay, which started after 9 p.m. and ended at 10:10. Understand, numbers mean something. 10:10. Okay, so let's just say he started at, it says 9:38 right now. The planets will move around a little bit, but not so much. And I can go back and change the chart. So let's just say it was 9:38 for now. This is the chart, right? So we got Pluto conjunct the 8th house. Pluto rules death. This is the 8th house of death. Saturn is here. Saturn is going to represent restrictions, but it's in the degree of Libra, balance. I'm honestly just going to be thinking out loud, rambling. This is my first time looking at the chart. So let's see. Saturn is here. Saturn is square Uranus, meaning Saturn is unpredictability. It's karma, right? So a lot of people are saying like this was a sacrifice on his part to kind of erase his own karma, which is, it's not going to matter, but you know, you can't explain that. I mean, you can't get them to understand that in the process. So anyway, Pluto is at 24 degrees. 24 degrees is the degree of Pisces. Pluto, death, Pisces is like the other side, transcendent. We got part of fortune in the 12th house. The 12th house is like the subconscious, the spiritual realm. Part of fortune is luck and material wealth. So it's like if you wanted to do some spell work, because the 12th house is also behind the scenes. Jupiter's conjunct the 8th house as well. So it's like that adds to a little bit of luck when it comes to that occult magic spell work. And it's like Saturn is in the 8th house. So it's like Saturn is the god of karma. But Saturn is also looked at it like the devil. So if you're trying to worship that entity, that darkness, Saturn is a malevolent planet. If you're making a sacrifice to an entity such as Saturn, like Saturn, that makes sense to me. Neptune is conjunct the midhaven here. So Neptune is the sign, the planet that rules illusions, delusions, also spiritual energy, psychic energy, nebulous, unseen energy. It can make things kind of disappear right before your eyes. Uranus kind of has that effect too. The North Node is in the 12th house as well. So the North Node is like the soul's purpose, where the soul is ascending to. Ceres and Ceres and is that Lilith? No. Yeah, Ceres and Lilith in the 12th house as well. Lilith is that dark feminine energy. So this little 12th house stellium right here lets me know that there was definitely some dark energy. And this is a really basic chart too. With the 5th house here, the sun in the 5th house. So yeah, a good day for entertainment with the sun being in the 5th house. Well, obviously this would have changed 2 hours or so after his performance, but his performance was what, just a few minutes. So that was smart as far as having the sun in the 5th house, the Scorpio energy, and the house of performance, entertainment. Mercury. Now keep in mind we just had the new moon in Scorpio, so the moon was no longer in Scorpio. His natal moon is also in Sagittarius. Travis Scott. If I have the correct chart for him, if I saw the correct chart for him, Astro Theme. So if y'all remember how I showed you on Astro Theme, how to pull up celebrity charts, which is probably something I'll be doing a lot more, because as their kind of status unravels, it'll be a lot more interesting to do. Travis Scott. He's a moon Aquarius, apparently. I mean, Sagittarius. I don't know why I want to keep saying Aquarius. Not Scott Travis. Travis Scott. 5'10". Interesting. His sun is in Taurus. The moon is 0 degrees, 39 minutes of Sagittarius. So if his set started at this proper time, then that's very intricate. You made sure it was a lunar return. Okay. The sun at 13 degrees, 13 corresponds to Aries. The vertex at 18 degrees, the vertex is a diabolical or evil degree. It's a malicious, ill intent having degree. Vertex is karma. So your sun is self-expression. So he was expressing a karmic duty. With Saturn being here, let's see the aspects to sun. And I don't think there's any aspects to the sun in particular, but there's a conjunction of Mars, Mercury, the sun, and vertex. They're all going to blend together because there's less than 3 degrees here. There's, maybe these aren't conjunct. The sun and Mars. No longer conjunct, but we just had that energy with the new moon, and that energy kind of set the tone for until we have the next new moon. So it's kind of like a fight. Say a big fight happens on Christmas Day, right, at your family's house, and like 2 days later the fight is over, but the energy still, you know what I mean? How the energy still lingers. That's what I mean. Okay, so we got the sun and vertex conjunct because what is this? It's less than 10 degrees here. Well, it's less than 8 for sure. 18. What's that? 5 degrees difference here. So it's not showing a conjunction like a little red line right there, but these energies are conjunct. Let's see where the square to Saturn is. Saturn is square Uranus, the planet of unpredictability, the planet of chaos. So that creates challenges, right? Chaotic, karmic change, restriction, unpredictable restriction. Nobody assumed that they would go into that set and not be able to leave, not be able to get out. You know what I mean? So we got Mars square Saturn. Mars? Oh, right. Mars is here. Mars square Saturn, that creates impatience with restriction, impatience with authority, restrictions with authority. So again, like a lot of people were saying, like the police or whoever, the security, like there weren't an adequate amount of security or qualified security. So that expresses those restrictions there. With Mercury being at 0 degrees, it's amplifying the energy of Mercury. All of this in Scorpio. Scorpio is a sign associated with death, rebirth, and also just transformation. Everybody who went to this show is like transformed. Like you just experience a death and rebirth, whether you know it or not. Whether it was small, whether it was deep, it should be deep. Because it's Scorpio, you know what I mean? Anyway, this Mars is at 4 degrees. That is the degree of Cancer. Mars expressing itself in a Cancerian way can be very volatile as well. I think that's just why people were really impatient. This can lead to verbal fights, arguments, things like that. And now Mercury is probably a lot closer to Mars. I know it definitely was like within 1 degree yesterday. So shorter patience, frustrated thoughts. It can also wear you out. It can also just wear you out. You can become depleted with your energy really quickly, especially when it's close to the sun, your self-expression. So anyway, it can kind of like combust. Let's move on to the moon in Sagittarius. The moon in Sagittarius in the degree of Aries, aggressive, impulsive. In the South, conjunct the South Node. The South Node is losses. The South Node is losses in the house of health, work, daily routines, clothing. I don't know if that concert footage of him losing his shoe, that's funny. If he lost his shoe in this concert, if that was an old concert. But this, it makes sense to me, like, why certain energies look like they may be working against you. And like, oh, I'm just going to offer these dark entities something else so that I don't have to feel the weight of this. But he's still in the middle of Saturn return. So there's that. We got Venus conjunct the 7th house, Pluto in the house of open enemies. Venus at 0 degrees Capricorn. So it had just entered into Capricorn. 38 minutes into Capricorn. Interesting. So did you wait until Venus moved into Capricorn to start your set? Interesting. Chiron in the degree of, it's in Aries in the degree of Sagittarius. So Chiron is the wounded healer. There's a catch-22. There's always yin and yang, right? Yes, he's a puppet. Yes, he fulfilled his purpose. No, he's not going to be like forgiven because, oh, he's a puppet. Okay, no, you know you're a puppet though. So, and you signed up for this. It's your karmic duty, your karmic debt. You know what I'm saying? It's your role. You're going to have to play it out to the end. You don't get any passes just because you did something that you now realize is bad. Whatever. The Chiron placement here is the wounded healer. So you hurt people in the process, but also your wound helps them awaken. That wound helps them awaken. So it's a massive shift in the awakening for a lot of people, because a lot of people who were unaware of how blatantly obvious this was cannot deny it now. We got Uranus in the 11th house in the degree of Pisces, retrograde. Groups, social settings, large groups opposing this concert. People were saying they warned him. Uranus is retrograde. You should have been introspective, trying to figure out the best way to make it right for humanity, with Uranus being in Aquarius house, the Aquarian house, but it's in Taurus, so you're stubborn. But it's in the degree of Pisces. Pisces is mystery. So again, mysterious shit happening. Pluto, mysterious deaths. A lot of people, they're probably still trying to figure out how this person died. Did they just stop breathing? Were they suffocated? Did they have a heart attack? Were they scared to death? What was it? It's mysterious. Let's look at the aspect between Neptune is making a positive aspect to Pluto, sextile. This harmonizes energies. This makes it easier to make a mysterious death happen. Neptune in the 20th degree of Capricorn. Capricorn? Hold on. No. 20 degrees. I think that is Capricorn. 12. No, is that Scorpio? I can't math right now. 20 degrees is, I don't know. I don't know right now. Anywho, I'm sorry. I see it. There's a comment. I got a notification on my phone. Because I'm not looking at the screen. Oh, it doesn't show up right here, but I'll see it when I get off and I'll reply to anything. If you have questions, please ask. Let's look at Chiron is making an aspect to Saturn. As well, a positive aspect to Saturn. Chiron is making a sextile to Saturn. So that lets me know that there's a karmic lesson at play, and it's going to bring a lot of healing. It's going to bring deep transformational healing. It's going to be the wound that you try to heal within others, that you can heal within others. So a lot of people will have had a spiritual awakening during this experience. I think this chart is pretty closely related to his natal chart. I think he's a rising Cancer. Let me pull it up. I believe he's a rising Cancer. No, he's a rising. Okay, you see his his moon at 0 degrees, 39 minutes of Sagittarius. And this concert, 1 degree. Now, the first one I pulled up, let me go back because I had played with the time. Edit birth data. First, I pulled it up at 9:39. Okay, it's not at 0 degrees, but it's just past. Now, my timing could be off. He very well might have made this event start right with it. And again, sometimes you're so in tune with this energy, you don't realize you're doing things right on cue. But that's why I stress the importance of astrology, because this was meant to happen. It was supposed to happen. We got Pluto at 19 degrees in his natal chart in Scorpio. It's retrograde 19 degrees in the 8th house. The houses could be off. Maybe we don't have an accurate time of birth for him. Yeah, there's no time of birth on here. It says time unknown. So we don't have his houses. I did see a chart that I want to say, yeah, maybe this is the same chart that I saw. Maybe they just gave him a rising sign, but it could be inaccurate a little as far as the degree. Anyway, but yeah, that's what I see so far. The North Node and Mars. So if some people, the people who had challenging aspects in their chart, they were probably the ones who got seriously injured or hurt, because the 12th house is also hospitals. So with the North Node being in the 12th house with part of fortune here, it's just like, it's really easy with this aggression and miscommunication and impulsivity and violence to put somebody in the hospital. Also an emotional, with the moon, it's making an aspect to the moon. So that emotional tension, like people trying to express their emotions, but also just being traumatized. Like imagine somebody seeing this and then trying to relate it to somebody who's like actually not giving a shit. They're like, ma'am, I'm trying to film this show. Can you move? And you're just like, how can you, imagine that. This is an interesting shape with these green lines here. These are biquintiles, or either semi-sextile or biquintile, because one is up and one is down. I can't say for sure. Those are minor aspects. I'm not going to read those because I barely understand. Like I'm still perfecting my understanding of basic aspects. So we got Uranus opposing the sun. So people are acting in unusual, unpredictable ways. Also just straight rebellious. The humanity was kind of non-existent with Uranus being retrograde in the 11th house in the degree of Pisces, there's a missing element of humanity. Instead, everybody's reactionary and aggressive with this Scorpio energy. It's like everyone should have been very introspective, but it was very reactionary and very aggressive. Neptune is also making a positive aspect to the sun. Let's see, the sun is trine Neptune. That creates talent. So it's a good, like some people were saying, something told me to get out the crowd, something told me to move to my left, something told me to do this. That's your intuition speaking to you, allowing you to act on intuition express your intuition without thinking too much about it, allowing your ego and your intuition to be within harmony. So that's a good thing. Jupiter's making a positive aspect to Mercury, trining Mercury, which is conjunct Mars. You look there, that little red circle with the line. So that amplifies this miscommunication, this violent, aggressive, argumentative energy. It amplifies that. Jupiter is expansive, and with it being in the 8th house, it just adds to the chaos and it amplifies it. I'm sorry, that's Saturn. With Jupiter's in the 22nd degree. The 22nd degree is associated with deadly assaults, assassins. It's the degree of kill or be killed, according to Nikola Stoyanovich, a Serbian astrologer. So you may have heard me talk about that before. I think it's specific to natal charts, but again, this is an event. Jupiter is going to be in 22 degrees for a while. Then next year, over the next 2 years, starting next year, then for 2 years, the South Node is going to be in Scorpio. So there will be lots of deaths because the South Node is going to be in Scorpio, transiting all of our charts. We're going to see death all around us. I don't think people realize how overwhelming the next 2 years are going to be. Yeah, so that's what I've noticed right off the bat. There's so much more that can be read from this chart, and then this is granted that this is the right time. The only thing that's going to change is maybe which house certain degrees are in. The 10th house is at the 18th degree. Interesting. The 10th house is fame, public appearance, the outer personality, who you are to the world. So yeah, there's a lot more that could be read, but this is just like a sample if you're interested in getting a reading with me, or if you wanted to know what I saw in the chart. We just had the new moon in Scorpio, and there were some challenging aspects, squares to Saturn, the Uranus aspects. All of that makes for unpredictable, crazy, violent behavior. And then when you add Neptune in the mix, there could be mysterious circumstances that just can never be determined or won't be determined for a while. So it's definitely a time to be spiritually aware and spiritually. You can't be careful if you don't know what to look for. So I was going to say be careful, but it's like people think, oh, I'll just buy some crystals and say my prayers at night and I'm fine. No, this stuff is way more intricate than that. You have to do a lot more work. Because the truth is stranger than fiction, and the amount of effort that goes into deception, you cannot fathom. So the amount of effort that needs to go into your education, self-educating, self-discerning, improving your intuition, strengthening your gifts, and working on your weaknesses so that they don't bring you or anyone else around you down. Because imagine being so egotistical that you think Travis Scott is that great of a performer that you literally stood there on top of a dead body and didn't think anything was wrong with that. It's wild. You have to realize how many of these humans are not actually humans. They're like non-playable characters. I didn't even pull any cards. Let me pull some cards. You have to realize so many of these people are just testing you to see if you're going to choose that angel on your shoulder or that devil on your shoulder. Let me open another window real quick so I can see the comment that was made. I'm gonna pull some astrological oracle cards real quick on this thing. Oh, okay, I thought somebody. Oh, somebody commented on the live. It wasn't. All right. All right, let's pull some astrology cards. Can a divine spirit please show me anything that needs to be seen or that could help the collective understand what took place during Travis Scott's performance at the Astroworld Festival? I honestly want to eat my chips, but that's so inappropriate. So I'm not going to. But I'll show you the chips. These are so good. I just got them. Sweet ghost pepper. And I started eating them. I was like, these chips ain't hot. And after a while, I was like, okay. I feel the heat. I'm digging it. Okay. Let me share this video real quick. I'm going to just pull some cards. First card out, Juno, the partnership card. Ooh, a lot of people are talking about him and Kylie. Ascendant, your soul's growth, your soul's ascendance, where you're supposed to be heading in this lifetime, which you're supposed to be heading towards, working towards, growing towards. Juno, so maybe there's a partnership aspect. I'm going to look deeper and pull some tarot cards also. Jupiter, expansion, luck, fortune, wealth, fame. Those Jupiterian things. Even though fame is not necessarily Jupiter, but luck and fortune are. Venus rules money, but Jupiter can be like also good for money as well. Juno, the partnership asteroid. It says here, commitment, trust, equality, support, cooperation, infidelity, passiveness, jealousy, imbalance, oppression. So I'm going to take a look at a relationship and evaluate if it's working for you. What's working, what's not. So somebody else made the point that the Kardashians like to use men and then dispose of them. So some people were like, oh, their relationship could be ending after this, because someone even also made the point that they've used these black men to have these biracial babies. This is not my words. I'm just mentioning it here because it could have some relevance at some point. They have their black babies, so now they can comfortably culturally appropriate black culture without the backlash because, oh, I'm a mother to a black or biracial child. Of course, they're going to say black because they found the culture and everything, so-called. But there could be a partnership aspect here. So there could be some realizations about a relationship that he's involved in that they realize it's just not working, or they try to force it to work to bring balance to their desires. With Ascendant here, again, this is where what you're supposed to be learning and growing towards in this lifetime. The Ascendant is representing authenticity. It says also a mask, journey, life, filter, expression, interactions. It's who you are to the world. I think something about the mask is off for a lot of people. A lot of people went to that concert, a Travis Scott fan, and left like, no, I'm done with that dude. I'm deleting all his music type shit. So there's something about a mask. You're realizing the truth about who someone really is. And then with Jupiter here, it expands, it exaggerates, it's blown up, blown out of proportions, totally exaggerate. And that could be why some people are choosing not to believe it, but Jupiter is still truth. Jupiter is still truth. It's expansion. It represents positivity. I think also this was all done to amplify someone's positivity and luck and good fortune. overindulgence. So I think looking at the Jupiter in this chart is important. Why did I stop sharing my screen? I didn't mean to do that. Let's just maybe split it so you can see both. No. There we go. So looking at, again, I did look at the Jupiter in the chart. Jupiter's making aspects. Let's see if it makes an aspect to vertex. It's not showing me, but the vertex is conjunct the sun. So if it's making an aspect to the sun, okay, no aspects to Jupiter and the sun. Barely. And this could be off a little bit too. So Jupiter squaring the moon. So it can amplify and exaggerate people's emotions and also your intuition, because the moon is intuitive as well. Show me Travis Scott. Child came out and showed itself. A lot of people are saying like, oh, this was a sacrifice because Callie's pregnant and the entity they serve really wants their baby, but they don't want to give their, listen, there's crazy stories out there. None of it, the truth is all stranger than fiction. So it doesn't matter what you choose to believe. The truth is probably way more wild than you could ever imagine. We got courthouse here. There's rumors of lawsuits from the family members who've been injured. We got mature men and thoughts. Somebody can be offering him some type of wisdom in regard to how to go about this situation. There could be, there's an artist who's concerned about something. That could be Travis. He could be getting mentored or getting some advice from an older relative or someone who's been directing his career. We got toil and labor and lovers. So a relationship could just be too much work. It could feel really stressful. It could get to the point where the work is not worth it. The contract. The lovers is also looked at like a contract. So again, maybe he is a puppet. He is a puppet. He decided to do this. He chose this lifestyle. So maybe this lifestyle is becoming too much. Anything from the tarot? Show me toil and labor. Thank you. We got 5 of Cups reversed. Sadness, depression, mourning. Also numbness. Somebody, like, he could just be numb to it at this point. Thoughts. Show me thoughts. Thank you. Queen of Pentacles. He's worried about the mother of his child. He could have been like, he felt like, oh, if I don't do this, they're going to take my child. Show me courthouse. It very well could be like that. We have the Sun card, self-expression. It's also the inner child. These children keep popping up. The courthouse being here. Probably getting sued because of the way it played out, obviously. I don't know. It's almost like something about this court situation that brings out happiness. Maybe it's a happy outcome, but obviously it's not as happy as, you know, had your loved one not been injured or died going to a concert. But it's like almost like if he is getting sued, he's happy to do it because it makes him, it eases his conscience a little, maybe. Mature man. Somebody's trying to get him to focus on having fun, focus on friends. This could be, if you know who rules the music industry, probably what they look like. So it's probably someone who's an executive, someone in a position of power, and it's just like, congratulations, we did what you were supposed to do. Like, oh, just celebrate. You're gonna have so much success. You're gonna have so much happiness. You're gonna gain so much money. This is gonna bring you so many new opportunities. He probably did this shit to avoid anything having to affect his family, his money, his long-term longevity, but ultimately his family, if that's what it's about. I'm going to stop pulling cards because I feel like I get it. I got enough understanding for myself, but yeah, I just wanted to show y'all what I saw in the chart and pull a few cards. This is for entertainment purposes only. Take it with a grain of salt. If you want personal readings, please check out my link tree, which is link tree. You know, if you know the link tree link, it's Sean Doe though, and you can find it from my Instagram or from my Goddess Sean page. I hope that helps you understand astrology a little bit better. I hope the reading was at least a little entertaining and provided some insight also. But yeah, that's all I got. Until next time, peace.